Multiplying mixed numbers. This is going to be very similar to multiplying fractions, but we start with mixed numbers. And for this, let's say this first one, 5/8 times 1 and 2/3. The first thing you're going to want to do is rewrite the mixed number as an improper fraction. So we're going to leave the 5/8 alone, 5/8, and then we're going to change the 1 and 2/3 into an improper fraction. And the way we can do that, well, 1 is the same thing as 3/3. It's 3/3. And we can add those two together. So 3/3 plus 2/3 is going to be 5/3. So 5/3. So we have 5/8 times 5/3. And when we multiply fractions, you just multiply the numerator times the numerator and the denominator times the denominator. So we have 5 times 5, which is 25. And we have 8 times 3, which is 24. So we have 25/24. And that can also be written as 1 and 1/24. And if you don't know how to convert an improper fraction to a mixed number, you may want to look up the video on doing that. Okay, the next example, 1 3/4 times 3. We're going to do the same process here. We're going to rename the mixed number as an improper fraction. So we have 1 3/4. We can rename that as, well, 1 is the same thing as 4/4. So we just need to add 4/4 and 3/4 together, which will give us 7/4. So 1 3/4 is the same thing as 7/4 times 3, but we're going to rename 3 as 3/1. Because 3/1 is the same thing as 3. So we're going to write it as 3/1. And again, we're going to multiply the numerators. So 7 times 3 is 21. And multiply the denominators. So 4 times 1 is 4. And we're going to simplify this. We have an improper fraction now, so we want to write it as a mixed number for our answer. So we do 21 divided by 4. Well, 4 goes into 21 5 times, which is 20, right? 5 times 4 is 20. And then 21 minus 20 is 1. So we have a remainder of 1. So it'll be 5, and a remainder of 1/4. Remainder of 1/4. So that'll be the answer for the second one. Now the third one, we have 2 mixed numbers. So we need to rename both of those. So 2 and 2/9 times 4 and 4/5. So 2 and 2/9, well, 2 we can rename 2 as 18/9, right? 18 divided by 9 is 2. So 18/9, and then we have another 2/9. So 2/9 plus 18/9 is going to give us 20/9. And then 4 and 4/5. And an easy way to do this, to get the same thing when you rename it, is to do 2 times 9, which is 18, plus the numerator. 18 plus 2 will give us 20, and then you leave the denominator alone. So let's use that with the second one. 4 times 5 is 20, plus 4 is 24. So that'll be our numerator, and then leave the denominator. Okay, now we have 20/9 times 24/5. And this one we can actually do some simplifying before we do our multiplication. Because we have 20, which is compatible with 5. We can divide both of those by 5. So 20 divided by 5 is 4. And 5 divided by 5 is 1. And then 24 is divisible by 3. And so is 9. So we can divide 24 by 3. And we get 8. And then 9 divided by 3, and we get 3. So now we have some smaller numbers to work with, and we can do our multiplication from there. So 4 times 8 is 32. And 3 times 1 is 3. And that's our answer, except we can simplify that. We can write that as a mixed number. So 3 goes into 32 10 times, with a remainder of 2/3. So our answer is going to be 10 and 2/3. Okay, the last one. 3 1/4 times 2 3/5. Well, let's rename those. So 3 1/4 we can rename. Well, 3 times 4 is 12, plus 1 is 13. So we have 13 over 4 times, and then let's rename 2 3/5. So 2 times 5 is 10, plus 3 is 13. And we leave the bottom number alone, the denominator alone. And at this point, we aren't going to be able to simplify anything, so we just need to multiply it. So we have 3 1/4 times 2 3/5. So that's going to give us, well, 13 times 13. And if you don't know that one, let's just show it here. So 3 times 3 is 9. 3 times 1 is 3. Bring down a 0. 1 times 3 and 1 times 1. And then you add those. So 13 times 13 is 169. So that'll be our numerator. And then the denominator is 4 times 5, which is 20. And now we have an improper fraction, so we need to simplify that. So do 169 divided by 20. And 20 doesn't go into 1, it doesn't go into 16, but it does go into 169, and it goes in 8 times. So 8 times 0 is 0. 8 times 2 is 16. So 169 minus 160, well, that's just going to be 9. So we have 8 and a remainder of 9. So our answer is going to be 8 with a remainder of 9/20. 8 with a remainder of 9/20, and that's the answer. So I hope these examples have helped you with learning multiplying mixed numbers. It's very similar to just multiplying fractions, but you have an extra step added at the beginning, which is changing the mixed number into an improper fraction.